us for Blackburn Rovers, of course, this weekend as we take on the table toppers, Leicester City. Can we compete with one of the big boys? We're going to take a little look next. Preview. Look forward to Rovers' latest match back in the Championship, of course. This time it is Leicester City, of course. We'll get to that in a second, of course. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, bang up to all things Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We got it all here, boys, under one rooski. That's right. Rovers, fresh on the back of a victory against Cardiff, take on Leicester City, of course, who were most recently humbled by Liverpool, of course. But these two guys will meet at, of course, Ewood Park this coming Sunday. All eyes on this one now. But of course, can Rovers actually get anything out of it? We'll take a look at it in a second. Of course, big shout out to the VIPs. You know who you are. But let's get into it, of course. No time to waste as we look forward to Leicester City. That's right. Here we go, of course, previewing the two sides. Of course, mostly, importantly, it is the hosts. And of course, this is aimed at those Leicester City fans who are coming here for the very first time. And if you are here for the very first time, guess what? Smash your subscribe button. Of course, we are not just Rovers here. It is, of course, our main focus, but we have Championship content, predictions, all that kind of good stuff. So anyway, let's get into it. Of course, this is the man, the myth, the legend, the superstar right now, the face of the place. It is John Donald Thomas and JDT to you and me. His current points per match ratio is around about 1.64. It might have gone up a little bit, but of course he is got a record against Leicester, 100% success rate, of course, beating the then Premier League side last season in the FA Cup. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tyree Stoner, the most valuable player on transfer market. Of course, that's probably a little bit of a blurred line there. You probably would be thinking Adam Wharton, probably 20 million, something like that. And then, of course, a little bit of an overview of our players. 28 players on the books, 9 foreigners, 22.9 is the average age, with just one national team player. And questions or answers on a postcard to who that is, of course. These are the defensive players for Rovers. I don't know now. No, I don't know. Of course, Wildstadt debutised as a goalkeeper midweek against Cardiff. Will he or has he done enough to convince JDT to be the number one? That's the question on everybody's lips at the minute. Because if a clean sheet, yeah, you would have said, go for it, you're going to be number one. But a couple of goals leaked against Cardiff. I don't know. I haven't really seen them back. So there is some uncertainty about the number one, but I will probably stick with the Swede. We'll take a look at my team in a minute. Then, of course, the defensive ranks there. I would imagine the likes of Dom High and back Carter as well. They were rested for the game against Cardiff City. Into midfield. Some more questions to be had, but of course a couple of players will not be involved. Hedges out, Gallagher out. Niall Ennis is edging closer to return, so that's, of course, a much-needed boost. And then, of course, the informed man in the minute is Arne Sigurdsson. He's had a hell of a week. A couple of goals for us. Of course, one on the league, one on the cup. So he must be knocking on the door for a full 90 minutes very, very soon. Of course, and then the familiar faces of Travis, Smodit should be involved. And then, of course, the likes of maybe Leonard and Televic will be competing for the starting jersey. But I think Leonard will get it. He has been, again, scoring some goals in recent times. Let's take a look at the Championship record then. Sowie, of course, Sammy Smodit is our main man, our major goal threat right now. 5 goals to his name. Leonard has also got a couple of goals as well. Hedges, McInday, Gallagher and Siggy at the minute. The key men so far, again, this Championship, of course, is the average rating. 7.43 for Sammy Smodit, the main man. Pears is up there with a 7.13. So you can't... If he was top spot there, you would have to argue maybe he shouldn't be dropped, but again, it's not. I don't get paid that money. Of course, JDT gets paid that money to make those decisions, and we'll see just what he does for this match against a big team, a Leicester City, a juggernaut. We'll take a look at Leicester in a minute. Of course, the average rating for Rovers is 6.93. We do need to push that forward to get above the 7 to really show us that we are contenders here. We have played 8 matches, scored 12 goals. We have conceded 16, so that's a bit of a whopper right there, averaging 1.5 goals a match. Of course, no penalties so far, or have we had a penalty? I think we had a penalty and we missed. That is correct. Hit the woodwork 4 times. There's some big chances in there as well. Of course, if you want to explore those stats a little bit later, more detail, please pause it right now. But of course, continuing on, average possession 55.4 for Rovers in the league. Just the 1 red card as well. Just 1 clean sheet. And again, that goes to show we need to get those numbers up a bit. So Wildstadt has to have a go if he's going to try and compete and try and get those numbers right. This is the form. Of course, fresh off the press here, of course, Rovers with the 5-2 win over Cardiff. Prior to that, 7-goal thriller, 2 7-goal thrillers in a row there, losing one and winning one. That we did lose to Ipswich seems to be the common trait at the moment. Prior to that, a big home loss to Sunderland, so we do need to get that home form back. Because at the minute it's been a bit ropey, and of course we did beat Middlesbrough at home, and of course lost to Plymouth Argyle away. So it's a kind of hodgepodge at the minute. So what we got 2 wins of the last 5, so it's not great. We do need a bit more W's at the minute to get us moving. Of course, the form or what's ahead does get a little bit easier. It's been a bit rougher at the minute with of course some tricky ones. And don't get me wrong, Coventry will be a tough old nut. That's of course on Wednesday. Then QPR on Saturday. Cardiff again, of course, the following Saturday after the international break. And then, of course, Millwall, and then Swansea City again. So, busy old schedule. Doesn't seem to end in October. Non-stop stuff there for Rovers. But, of course, what about my team then for this match? Well, let's take a little look at it then, shall we? Here it is in HD. There we go. Of course, Welsh for me gets the nod. Got to give him a go. We've got Pickering, Hyam, Carter, and Britton. Why I say we got to give him a go is it's kind of like a free hit. This one, they are flying high. They're top of the table. They're spent a bit big amounts of money. They're going to be contenders. If we win, hola, yeah, we're the batshit, we're batshit crazy. But if we lose, we just lost to a Premier League side. Realistically, they're a Premier League side. It's not, they're going to be up there, and of course they're flying high at the minute. So we got to give them a go. Wharton, of course, Moran, Travis in the 3 there. Again, Wharton was rested. 16 on the left, Diary Stone on the right, Smodic as a false 9. So that's my team. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about that. Televic played, I think, the full 90 in the last one against Cardiff, but still no goal. So we got to give him minutes, but of course, don't expect too much at the minute. He's a project. He's a bigger project, or a smaller project to the big project. Anyway, of course, this is the main man here, of course, for Leicester, Enzo Maresca, with a 2.04 points per match ratio right now. Kieran Dewsbury Hall is the main man, but guess what? He's not the only man. They've got some talent in that books. 25 million euros according to Transfermarkt. 28 players on the books. 25.6 is the average age. 17 foreigners and 7 national team players. Of course, so take a look at these players then. Of course, a handful of goalkeepers there. You've got 5 goalkeepers that realistically could compete as a number 1 wherever you are. Of course, Hermanson has been the main man. Danny Ward, of course, Welsh number 1. You've got Alex Smithies, of course, a regular in the Championship ranks there. Daniel Everson was on the books at Preston, I think. And Jakub Stolicic, I'm sure, is a good goalkeeper. There's 5 good goalkeepers. That's insane. That is insane amount of depth in the goalkeeping department. Then, of course, you look at the insane names in defence. Ricardo Pereira at the back. Wout Face, I'm sure he cost a packet. Harry Suter as well, big money signing. Connor Cody, former England international. James Justin, of course, one of the an exciting right back, English international contender at one stage. Then, of course, you go into midfield. The exciting Casey McAteer has been banging in goals as well. Kieran Dewsbury Hall. You got another Belgian international, Dennis Pratt, Harry Winks, again former England international. Brighton, former Premier League winner, Chowdhury. Enough about him. Ndidi again. Everyone was after him. Up top, you got the James Vardy, Patterson Daka. A lot of money on him. You got Kelchi Iheanacho, Stephen Mavidi, and of course Tommy Cannon. Of course, it's just an insane team that should rip this up. This should be a holiday. It should be a holiday for Leicester City, and hopefully we get them on about. Hopefully we get on a hungover day, a day that they've taken their foot off the gas. But so far, it's been pretty faultless for Leicester. Of course, top man right now is Casey McAteer with 4 goals. Dewsbury Hall's got a couple. Mavidi with 2. Mavardi with 2. And then, of course, a few others with 1. But the main man has been Dewsbury Hall, 7.88 average. Casey McAteer with a 7.43. Mavidi up there with 7.35. Wout Face with a 7.34. And then, of course, again, a whole bunch of others in there as well. Take a look at it. 7.17 is the average for a Leicester player this season. 8 matches, 14 goals scored, 5 conceded, an average 1.8 goals a match. They've hit the ball just the twice. They've had 2 penalty goals, which they converted nicely. And, of course, just no red cards. Possession-based, 62.1% at the minute. This is their form, of course, heading into this on the back of a 3-1 loss to Liverpool. That might give us a little bit of a momentum. Of course, it was an away day there. So hopefully we can give them another away day to forget It is a toughie. This is going to be this is like a mini FA Cup final here, boys. If we can get a result here, a big boost for us, and of course it'll give the championship a bit of a reboot because Leicester City are running away with it, and of course I think they're faultless. I think they might have had one defeat. We'll look at it. In fact, there it was. It was Hull City. Hull City picked up the win right there. Of course, looking ahead, Leicester of course taking on Preston North End on Wednesday. That'll be a good one. Leicester City then take on Stoke on the weekend, following weekend. Then it's Swansea. Then it's Sunderland, of course, and then QPR for Leicester. So that's of course their schedule. This is how I got them lined up here, guys. This is it. We're going to go home and summer between the sticks. We've got Doyle, Vestergaard, Vase, Wout Vase, Ricardo Pereira at the back there. We've got Winks, Dewsbury Hall, Ndidi, Mavidi, Fatawawu and Vardy up top. That's my lineup. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about it. And of course, we'll see how we get on. But let's take a look at these two sides then. Locking horns again at Ewood Park. This is the last 6, both home and away. Of course, not too shabby for Rovers there. 1-2, lost 2 and drawn 2. We've scored just 7 goals compared to their 9. It's been 6 yellows, no reds. But of course, last time around, it was a 2-1 win for Rovers at Leicester. But last time we played at Ewood, it was a 1-1 draw. I'll take that. I'll take that right now. So we're unbeaten against them over the last 3. So that's pretty good. Let's take a look then at the last 5 at Ewood Park. Of course, looks pretty tasty when you look at that. Unbeaten in 5 at Ewood. Draw last time around. 2-1 win the previous encounter. And then a couple of wins, of course, when we were a Premier League outfit as well. So looking at that. Yeah, it looks great. But Jamie Vardy has scored the last 2 times he's played at Ewood Park, and of course, but unfortunately, he's yet to pick up a W. And hopefully, we can get something out of this game. That's all I can say. Let's just put our horseshoes on. Let's kiss our leprechauns and all that kind of stuff. All the good stuff. Get your witch doctors and all that kind of stuff. This one, of course, Rovers home form up against Leicester's away form. And actually, Rovers picking up 4 wins of the last 6 of Ewood, so that's good. It's better, but. As you can see, just the 1 defeat for Leicester on the road. That was the most recent one against Liverpool. So still a tough old task for us. What can we expect then? Rovers' strengths heading into this, our counter-attacks, coming back from losing positions and creating scoring chances. Our weaknesses, though, are quite thorough, quite a lot of them. Finishing scoring chances, avoiding fouling in dangerous areas, defending against through balls, defending against skillful players, aerial duels, offside, avoiding offside, defending set pieces, defending lock shots, and stopping opponents from creating chances. Our style of play, though, is possession football, short passes, through balls, of course, playing in our own half, and we have a consistent first 11. Let's take a look at Leicester then. Their strengths are scoring chances, counter-attacks, of course, creating chances through individual skill, defending set pieces, protecting the lead, and stealing the ball from the opposition. Their weaknesses, there are a couple of them there, of course, stopping opponents from creating chances, defending against skillful players, and avoiding individual errors. Their style of play, through balls, down the middle, of course, possession football, short passes, with, of course, preferring the left-hand side. Opponents do play aggressively against them, and they're also quite aggressive, but they do mix up their 11 because they have a squad of players that need to be satisfied. Rovers will create many scoring chances. Leicester will score as a result of an individual bit of skill. This is, of course, another overview of the 2 clubs here. Of course, Rovers' form is up represented by that graphic at the top, and, of course, Cardiff down the bottom. And, of course, as you can see, a gulf in quality in the amount of value to these 2 squads. 252 million is Leicester City's squad. 52 million is Rovers. Again, we have a younger squad. They have more national team players. Of course, they have pretty much everything going in their favour. But what they don't have is their form. Of course, as you can see right here, right now, 18 times they played just since 1994. Rovers have won 7 of them. They won 5 of them, and we won. And there's been 6 draws. Of course, 3-0 win was our biggest. 23 goals scored in those 18 matches. 1.28 goals a game ratio. Up against Leicester, though, their biggest win, also a 3-0 win, scoring 22 goals in those 18 matches. 1.22 goals a game. They're on 67% form for them right now, winning 4 of the last 6. We are on 50%. Of course, 3 wins out of the last 3. 14 for the table with 10 points. They are top with 21 points. The bookies still going with Leicester here, 21-20. 5-2 is Rovers, and 13-5 is the draw. But what's going on around the grounds then? Of course, on Friday, it's Wednesday, it's Sunderland. Of course, that's the early kickoff over there. Then it's, of course, Southampton against Leeds all eyes on that one before we go to the 3 o'clock kickoffs around the place. Norwich against Birmingham, Millwall against Swansea, Hull against Plymouth Argyle, Bristol City against Stoke, we have Cardiff against Rotherham, we have Huddersfield against Ipswich, QPR against Coventry, Preston against West Brom, Watford against Middlesbrough, and then of course all eyes on Ewood as Rovers take on Leicester. That's on Sunday, bloody Sunday. That's right, of course. And then this is the table as it stands. As you can see, 21 points for Leicester. They could actually drop out the top spots if, of course, Preston win, and they do not. Rovers, of course, could jump up as high as 5th. That would be nice. As we enter another manic stage for Rovers. A quick look at the top goal scorers. The main man is Jack Clark with 5 goals. Gordon's up there with 5. Armstrong with 5. Smodic up there with 5. Joint top scorer Hardy Connolly as well. Then McAteer there. Perot and Vignal with Broadhead in the mix. Of course, key players. Of course, the main man right now is, of course, James with the most assists. Whittaker, Hardy, Dewsbury Hall, and Patino as well. What about my prediction then? I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be brash. I'm going to be cutthroat. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Rovers. Why? I think at least Leicester are not going to go. They're not going to remain unbeaten. They're going to, even though they've lost already, they're going to suffer defeats along the road. Some teams are going to get a little bit lucky, and I think we could be one of them. It is at Ewood. Our record against them is pretty good, and I just hope the form from Wednesday into this game, or the morale, or the spirits, will roll us into a victory, whether it's a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something. I just hope we can get out of it. It would just be a good morale boost, a good tonic for us, and of course a bit of a reality check for those Megabuck players over at Leicester. That's of course my take on it, guys. Be sure to get your own take on it. Of course, make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, hit the little bell. We will have a watch along. We will have probably a vlog, I'm hoping, and of course some reactions from the Rovers faithful. Of course, pre-game show, all that kind of stuff. I expected. It is an early one, so we will see if we get all that together. But anyway, until then, subscribe, thumbs up. Of course, catch you later for the next one. Till then, we're done.